Cody, and welcome to another week of literacy learning. This week we're going to be having a look at explanation writing. All right, so I want you to have your puka ready. My puka says it's cool to be kind, which it is, and your pen ready. You might like a blue pen or a black pen, and then remember our red pen underlines our date and our title. All right, so get set with your puka and your pene. Make sure you're sitting in a place that's comfortable for you to learn, and watch on for our explanation writing episode 1. 8 explanation writing episode tahi. Ta-da! All right, so this week we are learning 2. 1. Understand the structure of an explanation piece of writing. 2. Understand what the author's purpose is for making an explanation text. And 3. Identify the language features that are commonly used in explanation writing. Today's learning part I is, what is the author's purpose for creating explanation writing? Is it to inform? Is it to entertain? Or is it to persuade? So we're going to come back to this learning part I at the end of our episode where you can make your choice. So what is explanation writing? An explanation text is a non-fiction text which describes how or why things happen. When do we use explanation writing? We use it to tell or explore how things work or how they came to be. All right, so we are explaining and describing how or why something works or how they came to be. Here is our structure for an explanation piece of writing. All right, it must have a title just like any other pieces of writing. All right, you're going to name what is going to be explained and have a beautiful ruled red line underneath that title. It also needs to include a statement. This will be your first paragraph where you clearly state what is going to be explained. It also needs to include an explanation sequence. This will be a series of events that relate to time or cause or both, and you might like to include diagrams or flowcharts which will need to be commented on. All right, so this is your 3 main body paragraphs that we will look into a little bit later on. And it also needs to include a concluding statement. All right, so you may like to include an evaluation or interesting comments on what you have explained. And I'm just going to say that it's not optional and would really like to see that concluding statement. Here is another example of the structure for explanation writing. This may be a little bit more easy for some people to read and understand. All right, so please remember that you can come back to these slides anytime when you may need to. Cool, so we've got our title as the first bun, then our introduction, main reason or process 1, second reason or process, third reason or process, and then a conclusion to tie everything in together. All right, making sure that all parts of the burger are added to make it complete. All right, it's not going to be as tasty if you don't have the patty on the bottom, and it's going to taste a bit weird if you don't have the bun on the top. So making sure that all layers of our burger and our writing are filled in. Awesome, so we are now going to read this explanation text about tornadoes together, and I would like you to have a think about these learning parts I hear. All right, what do you think the author's purpose is for making this text? Is it to inform or entertain or persuade? And what do you notice about the structure of this text? Does it have all of those layers of our burger? And could you also list some common types of language that's used in this text, e.g. action verbs, erupts, revolves? So pause the video if you would like to read this to yourself or continue to watch on for me to read it to you. Tornadoes. Tornadoes are violently rotating columns of air that can leave a path of destruction in their wake. Damaged paths from the most devastating tornadoes can be over 1 kilometre wide and 60 kilometres long. For a tornado to form, there must first be a thunderstorm. Rising air, called updrafts, supplies warm and humid air to a thunderstorm. Sometimes this rising air forms into a funnel cloud or a tornado. You may expect that the funnel would form from the ground up if it is caused by rising air. In fact, the funnel grows from the cloud and does not become a tornado until the vortex touches the ground. It is not easy to identify a tornado if cloud at the bottom hasn't formed or if little dirt is being picked up. Usually, a tornado forms at the edge of an updraft, next to the air that is being moved downwards with rain and hail. Therefore, rain and hail can often signal the arrival of a tornado. Tornadoes vary greatly in strength and size. Scientists believe tornado wind speeds range from about 180 to 250 kilometers per hour. Generally, tornadoes travel at about 30 kilometers per hour, although some have moved along the ground at about 110 kilometers per hour. Alright, so you're learning pārtai that you're going to answer in your writing books with the date that's going to be underlined in a beautiful red pen and the title Explanation Writing Tornadoes, which is also going to be underlined with a red pen. You're going to answer these questions. What do you think the author's purpose is for making this text? Is it to inform, entertain, persuade? And what are they trying to inform, entertain, or persuade? Question number 2. What do you notice about the structure of this text? All right, and you'll see on the slide that there's a few hints there that will help you. But do you notice those main elements of a explanation text? The title, introduction, main reason or process 1, 2, and 3, and then a conclusion. I'd like to write down what they have added and tick off if they've got everything. And then also question number 3, list common types of language used in this text. Again, we've given you a bit of a hint on the right side. Cool? So, awesome. Now it is your turn to paste these questions into your writing book and answer them. All right? What do you think the author's purpose is for making this text? Was it to inform, entertain, or persuade? What do you notice about the structure of this text? Does it include all the layers of the burger? And can you list common types of language that's used in this text? For example, action verbs, doing words, erupts, revolves. All right. Pause the video and do this task in the next 5 minutes maybe, and then come back for the answers. Awesome. So, what do you think the author's purpose is for making this text? It is to inform our readers about tornadoes. Question number 2, what do you notice about the structure of this text? Well, it does include a title, a statement. The explanation sequence is the 3 main paragraphs, and it does include a conclusion. Awesome. Question 3, list common types of language that's used in this text. So there were noun groups, like the drought-affected area, your body, naming groups. It also includes passive voice. Waves are caused by the coldness is a result of. It also uses adverbial phrases in all aspects of and most parts of the country. It also uses our doing words, our action verbs, erupts, revolves, orders. And it also uses a range of different conjunctions and connectives, like when, as, if, cause, then, create. All right, so I would like you to paste this into your writing book. So you have it as an example for when you write at the end of the week. Here is another text of an explanation piece of writing. I would like you to pause the video and read the text. And once you're finished with that, answer the questions below in your writing book. Awesome. As we can see, in this text, it has clearly stated what was going to be explained. What is a knight? A knight is a fighting man with special privileges. To become a knight, a boy usually had to be of noble birth. Boys were selected from knighthood at an early age. They were sent to a castle to be trained. All right, then presents the first explanation sequence. That was about the first stage of training until the age of 14. It then presents the second explanation sequence at the age of 14. And then it presents the third explanation sequence, which describes what happens to the knight at around the age of 20. And then it ties in a concluding statement, which just gives a bit of additional information about what happens after that stage as the king. Awesome. So your task is to find an explanation text around your whare or at school to read. Have a think about what the author's purpose is for writing this text. Was it to inform, entertain, persuade? And also jot down some key information that you read from the text. All right. Tune in tomorrow or the next day for episode Rua.